Hi friends, it's Miss Anne from Herrick District Library. Welcome to Preschool Storytime. I'm very glad you could join me today. We are going to start, like we often do, by singing our alphabet, but we are going to do it a little bit different this time than we sometimes usually do. We're going to sing to the tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb, and we're going to sing it forwards and backwards, because I know you're all smart enough to do that. So when we start our alphabet, what letter do we start with? With our A, right? So here we go. The tune is Mary Had a Little Lamb, which is Mary Had a Little Lamb. I think you probably know it. Here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Good job. It's sometimes fun to mix things up a little bit, isn't it? Try something new. You ready to try it backwards? Follow along. I know you can do it. We're going to start here this time, right? With our Z. Here we go. Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. Great job, everyone. Grown-ups, we like to switch up our tune to our alphabet and slow things down so we can really hear and really associate the names of the letters and the sounds that they make with what they look like. Because when we learn the alphabet, we learn it so quickly because kids memorize things so quickly. They learn it by rote, but we don't always remember that we have to assign each of these different shapes a name and a sound. Speaking of a name and a sound, we're going to talk about one special letter a little bit today. I'm going to make the sound of this letter for you, and we're going to see if you can guess what letter it is. This letter makes the sound k, 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 k. Anyone have any ideas? Right here, we are talking about the letter K today. Letter K and the k sound. So be listening for that k sound in all of our songs and rhymes and stories that we do today. So first, friends, we're going to be doing a lot of rhyming in this story time. Rhyming is when we listen for words that sound the same, especially at the end of the word, like head and bed, or cat and hat. Words that sound the same. So we are going to do a little counting rhyme here with a rhyme called Five Little Kites. Anyone hear that k sound in there? Five little kites. Kite starts with that k sound. So we're going to pretend that our fingers are kites. We'll do some counting on our fingers, get our hands nice and strong, ready to learn how to write when we get to school. Can you show me a one? We're going to start with one. One little kite. Can you fly it like a kite? One little kite in the sky so blue. Along came another. And then there were, how many? Two, right? One, two. So let's put the two on one hand. Here we go. You show me two? Two little kites flying high above me. Woo! Along came another, and then there were, how many? Three, right? Let's put our three on the same hand. Three little kites. Just watch them soar. Can you make them soar back and forth? Along came another, and then there were four, right? One, two, three, four. Let's put our four on one hand. Four little kites, looking so alive, Kites do kind of look like they're alive when you're flying a kite in the sky, right? 4 little kites looking so alive. Along came another, and then there were 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or, of course, we can do 5 like this. There are lots of different ways to show the number 5. There are lots of different ways to show how many things we have of any number. So friends, if you have never flown a kite before, I think you should try it. Usually we fly kites in the springtime. It happens to be winter right now when I'm recording this. But if you go into our community collections page, our digital community collections page, have your grown-ups click on the links that are with this video, and you'll find on there a place or a way that you can make your own little kite, and even one that works pretty well inside without any wind. So make sure you check that out and try flying some kites. All right, friends, we're going to do another rhyme. This rhyme is about an animal whose name starts with the k sound, with the K sound. This animal, I'm going to give you some hints and see if you can guess what animal we're talking about. This animal is quite a big animal. It's not a little animal like a little fluffy kitten or something. It's quite a big animal. But you're right. Yes, kitten does start with the K sound. Great listening, friends. This is a pretty big animal. They're usually brown, and they live in a place where it's quite warm most of the time. And they have long, long tails, and they really like to hop. Can anyone think of an animal like that that starts with the K sound? Rabbits like to hop, right? But they're not very big. And does rabbit start with the K sound? Rabbit. Doesn't, does it? Can anyone guess? We're going to do a rhyme about kangaroos today, friends. And you are going to be the kangaroos. So I need you to get up and get ready to do some different actions. We're going to do this rhyme twice because I think it's an awful lot of fun, and it's always good to get up and move around a little bit. Are my kangaroos ready? Ready to listen and hear what I have for you to do? All different actions for you to do? Awesome. Here we go. Kangaroo, kangaroo, turn around. Turn around. But not so fast that you get dizzy. I don't want you to fall down. Kangaroo, kangaroo, touch the ground. Kangaroo, kangaroo, dance on your toes. Can you dance on tippy toe? Kangaroo, kangaroo, touch your nose. Burp, burp, burp. Kangaroo, kangaroo, jump high now. Can you jump really high? Wah! Kangaroo, kangaroo, take a bow, which means I'm gonna kind of bow. It's like saying, oh, thank you, thank you. Yes, I did do a really good jump, didn't I? Kangaroo, kangaroo, stomp your feet. How much noise can we make? Kangaroo, kangaroo, take a seat. Can you sit back down? Great job. But we're going to do it one more time. So hop back up again. Here we go. Kangaroo, kangaroo, turn around. Kangaroo, kangaroo, touch the ground. Kangaroo, kangaroo, dance on your toes. Kangaroo, kangaroo, touch your nose. Kangaroo, kangaroo, jump high now. Kangaroo, kangaroo, take a bow. Kangaroo, kangaroo, stomp your feet. Kangaroo, kangaroo, take a seat. Great job, my little kangaroos. Thank you for playing along. And since we've just been up and moving around a little bit, let's take a minute to just take a couple of breaths. Can we pretend that we have a cup of hot cocoa, but it's too hot to drink? So we have to blow on it to cool it off, but we also want to smell it because we're very excited to take a drink. Yes, yes, cocoa does start with that K sound. Letters are tricky, friends, but yes, you're hearing the K sound. Great job listening for the K sound. Okay, Can you show me your hot cocoa? All right. Let's take a big sniff, big breath in. And blow to cool it off. Still too hot. Let's smell it again. Ready? And blow it off. Blow to cool it off. Let's put in a couple of marshmallows. How many should we put in today? We flew 5 little kites. Let's put in 5 marshmallows. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's almost ready. Let's do one more sniff and blow it one more time to cool it down. Ready? Ready to take a big drink? Here we go. Tasty, tasty. I like hot cocoa. Friends, we're going to do some more rhyming again. This is a rhyme about, what does this look like? A kitten. Kitten. We already talked about that. Kitten starts with the k sound, right? So I'm going to say some words and you'll pick them up and you'll probably start saying them with me because they're quite similar throughout. But I'm going to say a rhyme and I'm going to give you a word that rhymes with a color. And we're going to see if you can guess what color it is. So our story starts, my poor little kitten lost her, what rhymes with kitten that she's wearing? Lost her mitten and started to cry. So I helped my kitten to look for her mitten, her beautiful mitten of, what color is this mitten? Blue. Boo-hoo and blue rhyme. I found a mitten just right for a kitten underneath the bed. Bed is going to be our rhyming word. Can you think of a color that rhymes with bed? But alas, which means sadly, alas, that mitten was not the right mitten, for it was colored. What rhymes with bed? That's a color. Red. Is that the kitten that the mitten that the kitten has lost? Nope. Let's keep looking. I found a mitten just right for a kitten next to our big old cello. A cello, friends, is a musical instrument. It kind of looks like a violin if you've ever seen a violin, except it's bigger. I'll put a picture of a cello and maybe a video of some music with a cello in our community collections page too. So have your grown-ups click there for us. I found a mitten just right for a kitten next to our old cello. So we're thinking about the color word that rhymes with cello. But alas, that mitten was not the right mitten, for it was colored. What do you think of a color? Can you think of a color that rhymes with cello? It was colored yellow. That's not the kitten's mitten either, is it? We'll keep looking. I found a mitten just right for a kitten. It's easy to get mixed up sometimes, isn't it? I found a mitten just right for a kitten next to my brother's toy crown. But alas, that mitten was not the right mitten, for it was colored. Color that rhymes with crown. It was colored brown. Good job. We'll keep looking. I found a mitten just right for a kitten under the laundry so clean. It's our rhyming word. But alas, that mitten was not the right mitten, for it was colored. Rhymes with clean. Green. That's not kitten's other mitten either, is it? We'll keep looking. I found another another mitten. I keep mixing this up, friends. We all make mistakes, right? I found another mitten just right for a kitten inside a grocery sack. Sack is another word for bag. So inside a grocery sack. Sack is our rhyming word. You think of a color that rhymes with sack. I found a mitten just right for a kitten inside a grocery sack. But alas, the mitten was not the right mitten, for it was colored. What do you think? Black. Good job. Keep looking. We're gonna find it. We're gonna find that blue mitten. I found another mitten just right for a kitten under my sister's kite. Oh, we already talked about kites, didn't we? We're looking for a color word that rhymes with kite. Alas, that mitten was not the right mitten, for it was colored white. White. Good job. I found another mitten just right for a kitten under the kitchen sink. But alas, that mitten was not the right mitten, for it was colored. Think of a color that rhymes with sink. It was colored pink. It's not the kitten's mitten either, is it? We'll keep looking. I found a mitten just right for a kitten inside my favorite shoe. What rhymes with shoe? And this time the mitten was just the right mitten because it was colored blue. There we go. Great job helping me look for the kitten's mittens and for helping me figure out these rhymes. Grown-ups, when we leave like a rhyming word off the end of a familiar song or phrase, it helps us create those rhymes in our heads and make those connections. But the tricky thing is, I know as a grown-up, I often forget that it takes kiddos' brains longer to process things than we do because they just haven't had as much practice. So we use something called the 5-second rule, where we'll ask a question and then we'll count to 5 in our heads to give kids a chance to hear the question, process the question, formulate their answer, and then give us their answer. It feels a little uncomfortable at first sometimes, but kids are so good at filling in those blanks. It's great practice for when we get ready to learn how to read. So friends, I have something in my what is it bag that starts with the what sound? K, k sound, the k sound. And that what letter makes that sound? Letter K. In fact, you know what? There is a K right there in Herrick District Library's name. So we're going to sing our little What Is It song, and then I'm going to give you a couple of clues, and we'll see if we can figure out what is in my bag. Ready? What is it? What is it? What is it? Do you know? What is it? What is it? Can you tell me so? So friends, this thing that starts with the k sound is something that most of us probably use every day. Most of us probably use every day. They can be all different sizes. They're usually made out of metal, almost always made out of metal. And I'm going to shake the bag and see if the sound helps you guess what's in there. You think of something that starts with the k sound? What do I have here? Keys! Yes! Keys! We use keys for all different things. There are all different kinds of keys, all different sizes of keys. What can you tell me about keys, friends? They lock things and unlock things. They help us open and close things. What do they lock and unlock? Doors. Yep. Yes, there are keys that start our cars. This is the key that starts my car. Here are a couple of door keys. You can get keys in fun colors and designs. That key has an owl on it. I have a couple more keys that I want to show you because I have some very, very tiny keys These are so little compared to my regular keys. Anybody want to guess what these keys might be used for? What else can keys be used for? They can open padlocks or little locks. These keys are from a little lock that I would use on a suitcase or a piece of luggage. These are little keys for a little padlock. And I have one more kind of key that I want to show you. I borrowed these from my friend and coworker, Miss Amanda. She has a collection of really old keys. A long time ago, keys looked quite different than they do now. And these keys are called skeleton keys. And they look quite different, don't they, than how our keys look now. They still have, can you show me what's the same and what's different? They're still made out of metal, yep. Both of them are made out of metal. They both still have bumps. Yes, these have bumps here. What's different? You guys are so good at this. This one has bumps all the way along up to almost the very top of the key. And this one only has bumps at the end. This is an old-fashioned kind of key, skeleton key, that was used in an old-fashioned kind of lock. And each one has a different, I think this is called the blade of the key. Each one has a different blade, which means that each one has different bumps that open different things. And each key is different and will only open certain things. And thank you for talking about keys with me today. If you can believe it, we've come to the end of story time. It's time to do our wave high, wave low song. Rhyme. It's a rhyme. And then we are going to say goodbye, and I will see you next time. So can you wave along with me? Wave high, way up high. How high can you reach? Wave high, wave low. I think it's time. We've got to go. Wave your elbows. Wave your toes. Wiggle your toes. Wave your tongue. And wave your nose. Wave your knees. Wave your lips. Blow a kiss with fingertips. Wave your ears. Wave your hair. Wave your belly. And your derriere. What's your derriere? It's your bottom. Wave your bottom. Wave your chin. And wave your eyes. And wave your hand and say goodbye. Friends, thank you so much for exploring the letter K and the K sound with me today. I will see you next time.